Hello, people of the automation world. I am Tom, and you are watching Tab Nation. Today, I'm not going to be talking about code. Usually, I talk about AutoHotkeys and some other automation stuff. But today, I've had this asked, plenty of times from different people that I've gotten to know on the internet and YouTube, whatnot. And, we always just kind of exchange stories on how did we get into AutoHotkeys? Like, how's it affected our lives? So I just wanted to do a quick video, just, what my little story is. And I would love to hear your all stories. So put it in the comments below. I'm just kind of curious, like, how'd you find AutoHotkeys? How is it, what's it done for you, basically? So it's kind of funny. I actually originally started coding when I was pretty young, 8th grade, I believe. HTML, stuff like that. Very simple stuff, not really coding languages, but yeah. And then many years ago, I don't even remember how long ago it was, maybe 6, 7 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. I had a game where I wanted to automate something, and I came across this script that did exactly what I wanted. I followed the instructions on how to install this language. I didn't even know what it was called. I just kind of went with it, downloaded it, ran the script. I kind of understood what a sleep was in the code, and I was able to manipulate that a little bit, and the send commands. The funny thing is I never actually learned that this language was called AutoHotkeys. So anyway, like, 10 years or something go by, and I'm working at this company, and we have this program that we were using for automation quite a bit. It ended up finding out after a few years that it was actually built in-house by our team, and so I had some ideas. And so I kind of pitched my ideas. They were like, oh, that's awesome, these sound great. And just like through the project, I mean, oh, you want to do all the coding for it? And I was like, sure. What language is this? And they're like, oh, it's AutoHotkeys. So I download it, I'm kind of going through the documentation, and I was like, wait, this code looks so familiar. And I was like, oh, I've used this before. Like, I used this, like, many, many years ago. So I didn't even realize that it was the same language that I had used before. And so I was like, okay, AutoHotkeys, nice to know. And from there, I just said yes to taking on this huge project, and I had no idea what, AutoHotkeys commands or anything, what it was capable of doing. I just said yes. And it's funny because I don't think the two people that were in charge of our department knew that I didn't know it. I just agreed to it. So I spent like the next week or two just really digging through the documentation, watching a lot of Joe Glein's videos, a few other things too, the forums, and just kind of trying to learn as much as I could for what my ideas were, is where I kind of started. And from there, I kind of just learned as I went. I would have something, I would have an idea, and I'd be like, okay, how do I do this? And that's where I would learn new commands. I didn't sit there and actually read the documentation for every command. I was just like, I hope my idea has a command that will let me do what I want to do. So yeah, I ended up saving, I think it was close to 10,000 hours on average a year, by the time I was done with the company. And, probably tons of money. I was never able to calculate that kind of stuff, but I developed probably, I think it was around 42,000 lines of code by the time I was done. Some of it was pretty simple, some was pretty complex with like, kind of like a simple AI where it's just a bunch of nested ifs, and, it would give different results based on what you were doing. And I mean, I had probably 50 more ideas that I just never got to before I was done with all that. Then I moved on. COVID hit, stuck at home for a while, wasn't really coding anymore with AutoHotkeys, and because the project just kind of ended and was good to go, and some changes were being made, switching to JavaScript instead. So I didn't want to stop and like get bad at learning AutoHotkeys, and forget a bunch of stuff. I also wanted to keep learning, practice, see other people's ideas. So I found the subreddit, started helping out there, and at that time there was pretty much every single day was the same question: how to automate Chrome with AHK. So I had came up with a way to do that about a year prior compared to using the AHK library that I forget what the guy's name is that made it. It's very complex, a little buggy. I don't think it's really supported anymore or updated. And I came up with such a simple solution, and I was surprised to find out that nobody on the internet seemed to have came up with this solution. So I got kind of sick of answering this question over and over again, have to type it all out and everything. So one day I was just like, I got a YouTube channel. It was, just used for personal use. And I was like, hey, I'll just make a video real quick. It was crappy. I don't even think I had a camera in that one. It was just me voicing over. I was using some crappy software at the time. But I made the video, and then every time that question got asked, I would just be like, here's a video I did real quick, check it out. And the video ended up doing very well, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I ended up making a few more videos with some of the most common asked questions and expanding on my Chrome video that I made. And after about 10 videos, I think it was, I was seeing how well this was doing, and I was like, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Maybe I should legit start an AutoHotkey YouTube channel. So I started the AutoHotkey YouTube channel. I've upgraded. I watched my old videos and I'm like, wow, they're pretty terrible compared to what I have now. I wasn't on camera. I had a crappy mic. I was using a headset mic at the time before I got this one. And I was using a webcam. Now I got an actual I think it's a 2.7K camcorder that can be used for recording. So I use that now. So I kind of upgraded, started learning, what makes a good video, how to explain myself better. And yeah, here we are today. I'm still making videos. It's been, I think we're getting close to about 2 years come October. Halloween is literally the first day I released my first video. And yeah, so thank you all for watching and continue to watch. Hopefully subscribe, like, bell notifications, whatever you can do to help me, because I quite enjoy doing this. You guys, with, making some money from this, because people like to hire me when they see my channel. They're kind of like, I started freelancing. It's kind of the end of the story of where I am now, just because, there's a lot of people out there who just don't have the time to learn it. Their employees are on other projects they need to focus on. So I've, get people who want to hire me, which is, created such a great life. I get paid very well for contracts that I do with different companies, sometimes individuals who are just looking for something personal, usually gaming. And yeah, I've been able to make this pretty much a full-time job. I have some books that I authored out, have nothing to do with coding. But yeah, I'm able to homestead and, continue cranking out videos very easily. And yeah, so yeah, tell me in the comments below, what is your story? How did you get involved in AutoHotkeys? Where did you hear about it? Anything, that you want to tell me. How long have you been using it? How many hours have you saved? I like hearing, all the variety of people. There's people who use it once in their life, and that's pretty much the end of it. They only had one thing that they wanted to do. But then there's people like me who pretty much anything I do on my computer, I'm like, can I automate this with AutoHotkeys? It's became embedded into my memory to kind of think that way. So yeah, just wanted to throw this video out because I get asked this quite often, stuff like that. And I will see you guys on an actual coding automation video coming out in the next few days. See ya!